Oh, ruh-roh. Okay, we got... Let's take a look.
Yeah, let us know when we're live
Oh,
to
we
air.
are. We are.
Oh, we
Oh,
are.
we are? We're back?
Sorry.
We're
All
here?
right.
Okay,
We're
yay!
back. All right.
Thank you, Excalibur, for doing the
Next commentary.
text commentary, the play-by-play. Very nice.
All right. So to catch you up, both runners are out on Houlihan. Ramond has headed south to Kakariko, found some bombs along the way, 50 bushes, and then found some more when he got there. Goomba started at Sank, but immediately restarted and carried on into Houlihan himself, and is now going east. Some runners like checking at least these entrances and maybe the castle and maybe Eastern Palace before heading to Kakariko Village. Strong opinions, Flip?
No, I do like this. I do like this play. Checking down on Goomba's side, going down to the lake first, just seeing what's there. Having found Mimic Cave there is a nice find for later. That's good knowledge to have. And also Super Bunny Cave. So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, this connector might very well lead to Kakariko, which saves Goomba the walk. On the other hand, this is not a connector you want to use a bunch of times because it's quite slow. So, we'll see how this goes. I don't recognize Goomba's sprite, Liberal. Can you tell me which of many animes this
Oh my goodness. That is. I can't pinpoint which one it is. It looks like it is caped, perhaps, or.
So, in what seems to be a tradition in Crosskeys, Ramond has found Ice Palace very early, which is completely useless for now. But it's, I guess, one less thing to potentially look for later. Goomba, on the other hand, has found his way up to Death Mountain, which is a nice early find. This will put off his Kakariko hook for some time, so we have early divergence between the runners. Is this where Super Bunny let Goomba out? I assume so.
Yes. Yes. So he is. Oh, and Ice Rock Cave up on the mountain. That's a nice find. Free item here. Giving us a small key to Hera.
Boo, I say. So Ramond, having been, I think that's the second dark cave he's found, is doing a little bit of exploration to see which one it is. Marks it as a different dark connector than the previous one on his map. So
getting Hype Cave is a nice little find. Bug net off the first pull there. A big key for Turtle Rock, and not a whole lot else. Bunch of money, so that's good. Early game.
Bunch of money isn't nothing until you make the Zora trip. So one of the reasons that the Houlihan start is depressing is sometimes you find the mushroom like 3 minutes later and you're like, ah, god dang. There's some small value in only making one trip over there, or trying to only make one trip. While we were recovering from technical difficulties, it's also to be noted that Ramond has also found Misery Mire. So.
Ooh, we have a hammer in Speck Rock Cave. That is a nice find.
Yeah, and well, Speck Rock's also a decent find. So Goomba has rescued the oldie man, or will in a moment. Let's see where this out of logic connector goes. The pyramid, which you can't get back in, and it's also super out of logic. You might as well check the item while you're here. Looks like nothing. And Goomba does not have enough bombs to get through Hookshot Cave, which is sad. Some more might turn up while he's up here, but... The desert trip turns out to be mostly a bust for Goomba, except for this Old Man Saving Quit point. Let's see if this is somewhere good. No.
Nope.
Highly no. Goomba could have tried going out the back there, but decided that wasn't worth his time. Ramond, having found Agate Tower, is going to go in. Get that first item, which again is blank, but it's nice to have the hammer in hand to allow that to occur.
Single rupees, not that exciting from the tree pole.
And so, having made a trip up to Wichita once already, we're heading up there again to turn in our mushroom before we stumble across Sick Kid wherever he happens to be. 20 rupees at the castle, so. Goomba's not going to make the long walk around the outside of the castle.
You mean the potion shop, right? Not Sick Kid, correct?
Sorry, yes. one of the things where you eventually turn up and an item appears.
Yes.
The Sick Kid should go to the potion shop, then he might be less sick. Yes, and with the sanctuary at Useless Ferry,
oh my goodness. Okay, we have our first sword and a moon pearl. That is pretty exciting on Ramon's side.
I'm impressed that it took 8 minutes for either runner to check the back of Escape.
Yep.
Alright, we're off. Now we want to find some cool stuff. Goomba finally finds a decent bomb shop. Now has the bombs. Presumably on his next save and quit, we'll restart at the sink and check the back. I admit that I have, in the midst of our technical difficulty recover, lost my mental count of which drop-downs we've seen, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen either Ganon or the well yet.
No, Ganon is at Sank.
Okay.
Yep. So we haven't seen the well.
We're running out of good places for it to be.
Yep.
Great. So would you rather it's here or at the top of the Ganon Tower? Well, here's Uncle, which is one of the better things to be here. Because you can have the items anyway.
And now we're seeing Goomba finding everything in Kek that Ramond found earlier.
Which is to say, of all the things that are there, the only one that's really exciting is that hammer, which I think is most of the way through Kakariko, depending on exactly how Goomba reps this. It's the first of several dark caves.
We have a Turtle Rock entrance and its laser bridge, so let's do some 4-heart skips here.
Some well and truly out of logic laser skips. Two fetch quest big quiz?
Big quiz.
That's better than... I mean, I guess they're nice to have in hand, but... not the big keys you're necessarily worried about. Ramond has not set up a tree pole yet, apparently. Oh, there's the well. That leaves either useless fairy or one item at the top of Kenneth's tower.
Okay, progression is coming fast and furious on Ramon's side now. My goodness.
Cane, flips, and a pod bid key. Yeah, you'll take that stuff.
Yep.
Wow, a map check in the first hour. Is this really
in the first 11 minutes of the game?
So early that the tracker wasn't ready. I'm sorry, whoever's tracking normal.
Yeah, this is pretty out of character for a Nori seed, I have to say.
Gotta roll a good one sometimes, otherwise we'll just get banned.
See, now my view of good seeds is what Nori generally rolls.
I mean, entertaining and good competitive and fast are not necessarily the same things. So that's Goomba getting to Spec Rock. Gonna leave that behind for a moment because he knows it's a one-way connector. I expect to see him back there in a bit. So that's that Kakri go well. I think leaves Useless Fairy behind Moldorm 2 or Aga 2.
Okay, we're getting both runners picking up a hook shot now because clearly we haven't gotten enough progression to start this 13 minutes of this race.
It's in some ways problematic because now they have many choices-ish.
Yeah, it's not. This is not going to be a linear seed.
Yeah. I missed. So Goomba got up to Death Mountain in Logic. Admittedly, the lamp the Golden Rescue wasn't in Logic, but which puts the East Death Mountain area in Logic just with a connector and a hook over. Just as a thing to keep in mind. And I missed the connector that Ramond just took.
I did as well. I was looking at Goomba for a minute, seeing what he was pulling. Hyrule Castle mid. Okay, thank you. Our trackers know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I have a legitimate excuse because I'm a little dopey right now.
You doped up on the fun drugs.
You know, as fun as they can be.
So I don't believe that Ramond chose to do the front of escape sequence when he found the castle.
No, he did not.
Really dopey, and he did this all while I was not looking, which... If you managed to do that, I need to retire from commentary. Just take 50 minutes.
Yeah, we are seeing some new checks here.
Unfortunately, he has to do a bomb escape because he hasn't yet found the hammer.
Or a sword, or... Yeah.
The readily available sword.
Yep.
The choice is getting made to dip Eastern early, which is a choice. Some runners will leave this behind aggressively, others will not. It's not a particularly great, easy to return to spot, which argues in favor of making this dip. And Goomba unfortunately gets one heart, so this Death Warp will take a little bit longer. Hookshot in Eastern Palace. We get to save like 10 whole seconds. Actually, not how much time that saves. But it's a little bit.
No. I don't feel it would save a full 10 seconds.
It does save it. Like, the screen transitions are slow. It saves one of those.
True.
But yeah, I mean, it saves a little bit of time. Not a ton, but you should still do it, because it still saves a little bit of time, and you get to feel square. So,
we finally have our hammer on Goomba's side.
Gonna get that news about where Spec Rock goes. Unfortunately, didn't get lucky enough to make the sanctuary checks before doing this, so might do that now that he has bombs in hand, finally. I think he went like 3 save and quits with 0 bombs.
There we go. You will appreciate finding this now.
I think there'll be some amount of frustration. Escape. Alright, let's see what's in the out of logic check here in Eastern. Yet more bombs.
Yeah.
Hammer, Team, Hooks, Flip. Where are you excited to go with this collection of stuff? Anything out of anything exciting?
Well, we both got our mushroom turn-in done. Lovely.
Do you feel the scream is screaming at the runners, go here, go here, go here yet? Or, just check things efficiently.
Yeah, it's just try to get it as efficiently as possible, and having the items that Ramond has now is definitely useful for being able to clear a number of things pretty well. The only limiting factor is, dungeons, dungeon access, keys.
Including Mimic Cave, which Goomba knew was here because he's already gone this way. So he remembered to come back. And I think he's going to head back up to the mountain via Super Bunny Cave. Whereas other runner has been doing a full Dark World sweep. Or a set Dark World sweep. Oh, it's the Pop Shop.
Get our first bit of crystal knowledge of Skullwoods and Misery Mire. As 5-6 crystals.
And here is Turtle Rock front. Ray hasn't yet been to, is it the well in Lost Woods to get the Canis Samaritan? So Goomba is making slightly unfortunate routing decisions here. Just, I think for good reason. It's just nevertheless unfortunate.
Oh, and actually seeing here now, I'm taking a quick peek at Ramon's personal tracker. He did do his light world check earlier, and did see that Eastern Palace and Desert Palace are crystals.
And he's now, we believe, going to get to the mountain from Super Bunny here. Goomba found a second entrance to desert at Eastern Palace. We'll see if he chooses to go out the third way, or instead goes out the front. Or sorry, it goes out the third way, or goes out the known exit to Desert Palace. And finds Bumper Ledge, which is a good find.
Yeah, that is a nice find to have. Not a useful item on it, but if it was useful, that would
Well,
have been
it's
even better.
also one of the better places to start in the Dark Worlds, right? It's sort of a natural place to begin a route, as well as one of the bigger parts of the Dark World. On the other hand, Goomba is off to go do things.
Yeah, we're just getting a little high five here.
Goomba knew that Hookshot Cave was here and has a hookshot, so chose to go out the exit of desert that he knew would lead to this, which is good situational awareness.
Yeah. Small key turtle rock. Not a whole lot else so far. Let's take a look and see what's in that first chest. Oh, did I miss that first one on
Yeah, they did them in different orders just to confuse you.
Yes.
and Goomba showing off that you can use the hookshot to get back out again, and finds that the other end of hookshot is east of mountain, saving himself a hookshot kill via hookshot kill.
Very appropriate connector.
Yeah. Our other runners is going to get that same information in a slightly less convenient way right now. Oh, sorry. It's he's not going to get that information. That's even worse because it's the ledge. So you might have to drop down there later and then be sad. And it looks like, having exhausted several other choices, Goomba's now willing to see what's at the back of the old man. Okay. They found a couple of dark caves so far, but presumably not this one. That is another somewhat terrible old man saving quick point.
Yes, definitely. Without anything to lift those rocks, there's nowhere to go from there.
Yeah, this dude does not want visitors, right?
No.
His front door is mirror locked, and his back door is behind some rocks. Ramond has yet to complete his West Death Mountain sweep, so he's back over here for that. May wind up at taking desert connectors after all is said and done. We'll see. Oh, it looks like Goomba's heading south in the light world. This route suggests to me a trip to Mini Moldorm entrance and then left.
Hopefully, yeah. Because I mean, Light World Shopping Mall is an interesting choice when players do make it. When you do not have a glove.
It's a long walk for two entrances, and you're definitely orphaning one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed the hoarder crabs full of big magic earlier, but it's a good find. So that's a chest on the library, or sorry, a sword on the library.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we get a flute at some point, and we can just go get that after we, boots and flute, and go get that, because otherwise the runners have to make the. I guess with boots you can just run that around and it's not so bad, but I would expect to see them go pick that up at some point, just because swords are good.
Yeah, that's a quick one if you get the boots, and especially if you have a flute on hand, it's just quick,
On
in
the
and
other
out,
hand,
you got it.
the logic is very likely to not need you to pick up that sword, which means that the boots could still be never. So
Very true. Very true.
for maximum inconvenience.
We have found GT on Ramond's side.
Yeah, and with Kane we can go as far as Tile Room. Apparently we're not interested in Tile Room. I'm kind of surprised we're not interested in Tile Room. Sort of de rigueur for most Crosskeys runners when it gets found. On the other hand, we have Hammer and Hook, and so we can do full left, including Ice Armors. Oh no, we have no keys! Never mind.
Yeah.
We can go some of the way.
Yes.
And yeah. I'm kind of surprised he's not doing Power Room. He might go back after. But...
Blue mail, okay.
This is a using the fire shooters to set up a death warp, making Ramond look like an 8-year-old that doesn't understand how the Stalfos room works. Like, why do I keep getting hit by these things? No, that was entirely deliberate. So that was at Spike King, I believe, which is a totally illogic place to be. So, and Pod. So Dark West Death Mountain has the things today.
Yes.
You don't have to say very often, but both Pod and GT are places we're going to come back to. So we're going to see a fair amount of this. Runners are in for several mountain climbs today. How many pod smalls do we have? Just the one? Yeah, go in the front door. Got a couple of items.
Goomba is not having as smooth a time with the laser skips as Ramond did earlier.
No.
Yeah,
then again,
Ramond did take a single hit, I think, by the lasers.
Nope. It was both fast and clean. I was impressed. And Goomba's no slouch, right? Like, these are not trivial skips.
No.
And his cane. So Goomba has hilariously not managed to go to Lost Prince yet. He's going to get his cane in a moment here.
And flippers.
Nobody's excited about flippers.
Hey, maybe I am.
Well, you can be excited, but I promise you, Goomba is not excited. Especially not excited to go check Hobo and Zora and things.
Yeah.
Remember to open that one.
Oh, and I also forgot that there was a bloomerang there in the well as well.
Did Ray pick up a bow in Pod to do the bow side?
Yes.
That's excellent.
Yeah, Bo was that right side check, that right side drop down.
Yep.
Push the button, make the chest appear.
And then go directly to bow side. Do not pass.
Yep.
Go.
Exactly. Yep. Do not collect 200 rupees. You have a bow.
So that, in some cases, would be a very impolite item, but given the way that Crosskeys works, I would expect any runner that turns up at Pod with a key to go that far. And so, unlike some vanilla-ish or where they're needed item locations, that one is not, I think, not going to screw Goomba. And I lied. Apparently, Goomba is excited to do flipper things because we're off using the little pond to ice ride areas.
Same as Ramond. Also, flipper things are real and valid.
And flipper things are more or less what we have available. So
yeah, we found Hera.
Neither runner has done North Dark World yet, despite it being available and in logic. So. And look at Goomba using the bloomerang like a champ, diagonal bloomeranging. It looks like we're going to beat this while we're here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we do have that basement key. We have the big key for the big key chest. This is, you know, a simple Harapot. Simple.
It's not a free.
No, it's not.
This is more pauses than Goomba would like. And 3 attempts. Oh. This is a lot of work for an out-of-logic character upstairs. Presumably hoping to never have to come back to Ice Red area, but that's a kind of bold assumption. You're probably going to find your way to the shopping mall, Dark Purple version, at some point. He had Big Key, which makes Bomb Harapot a little bit marginal anyway. Sorry. I just assumed that he didn't have the Big Key because he was bothering to do that 3 times. Quite slowly.
No, just showing off. Trying to show off the strat there.
I think trying to show off is an operative.
Yeah.
Sorry, and chat rightly pointing out that Ramond's flipper check did pan out because we got another sword from a man under a bridge. Which is not quite as bad as Women in Lakes as a method of handing out swords, but, you know, it's not great.
We got those front 4 checks in Thieves Town done. Nothing really of note came from it. But I mean, we're pretty limited on the progression we're missing at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, this is going well.
Yes.
And heck, even finding a decent connector at Ice Rod area, not that that's a decent connector.
No.
But it takes a thing off your list. But, you know, would have been a decent way to end a route. However, you can now go back and do the remainder of flipper checks, having come in via the whirlpool here. That's a small key on Zora Ledge. Easy and logic. Unlike real people, Link swims faster than he walks. If I fail at looking, man, I'm having a bad day. Flip, can we have your, like, highly paying attention, definitely on top of your game, looking at items for me?
Sure. As best I can. Today is my, Today is my day.
I saw the very edge, I saw the, like, 3 pixels of color, and apparently failed at pattern matching. And Ray gets the bad news about the old man front, and it is now going to walk through here and get further bad news.
For the back. Oh, yeah. Yep.
And Ray has to set up a death warp here. I guess hasn't yet gotten blue mail, and so this is faster than it could be. But
yes,
we're getting to the part where you kind of like a mirror to avoid taking slow-ass death warps. And I guess I should mention new features. We have the mail on the tracker now, because it used to be the case that everybody could tell what color mail people had from their sprites. And now people are flipping Hornet, and you can't tell anyone. So, as of this week, we have added the mail upgrades to the tracker.
Yeah, and to make room for it, what we did is we turned the arrow, the bow into a progressive upgrade on the tracker, which makes sense.
given that they made bows progressive 3 years ago or something.
Yeah. New and improved. Shiny.
And here's Ray back to check one whole item in... Oh, he's got a key. He could go check another item in Journal Rock. Nope, looks like we're just going to check one chest and death warp on the spikes here. And apparently, PSR deployed new features without telling the button-clicking people what was going on. So, Laura Linda, this is your training session on the new tracker. I believe this Ray will be finding desert again in a moment. Goomba, having paid $500 for some bombs, is willing to pick them up. And we'll head in and check the big chest.
Well, I mean, with that handy dandy, and it's another fetch quest item.
Yay! We have found the bat, and so we can go turn that in at our convenience. Goomba restarting at Useless Ferry for like the third or fourth time, which is kind of depressing, given that it's not it's not really a place you want to spawning ever.
No.
It appears to be marginally faster to get to Kakariko than Link's house, according to Goomba at least. So hence the restarts there, but yeesh. Ramond with Moon Pearl in hand, when he found the middle exit to Desert, can go do some exploring of North Darkwood.
We are going Dark Cross. Interesting choice. I'm here for it.
If you're gonna count the castle for connectors, which I think is what Goomba is up to, you might as well check Dark Cross while you're here.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe that the last time Goomba was here, he did not have a way to see his position in the dark. So, for those of you that have never visited Ramond's own stream, he is very kind in that his map tracker is very large. As a consequence, he's streaming the game very small. So if Lady Laura Linda misses anything, just shout it out in chat, and she'll fix up the tracker for you. Here's a connector check from Goomba. You get the mire out of Hyrule Castle, which is an excellent find. This is, of all the places the connectors can take you, one of the most, I think early game, the mountain is the thing you're looking for, and then as the game goes on, the mire area is just an excellent place to know that you have a way to get to.
Definitely.
You don't necessarily need food and bits and stuff.
And Ramond had found the back of Skull Woods, and within that pulled out half magic, which is a nice little bit to find. And Goomba, finding Swamp Palace, did the first check in there.
Might as well, you're here. It's a long walk. It's a long trip back there, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And with the dam and flips in hand, you're a little bit suspicious. I would suspect that part of the reason that Ramond is less known is just because he's French or European. I feel like the North American Link to the Past community is just shouting.
Yes.
Goomba making the kind of miserable play to Dark World Shopping Mall with no glove. Yeah. But the French and the Germans have their own like sub-communities that I think interact less with the broader community. Whereas I think if Goomba wanted to hang out with all the other Swedes, it would be a very quiet chat room. Goomba made his way all the way over here for one whole check, and it's a bottle.
Hey, pop on back to Sick Kid.
And Goomba is showing off all of the whirlpools in this scene. With the flippers in hand, is going to use them to get around. Given that he has no flute and no boots, we're going to teleport via Zora's Domain, and it's going to be great. Ramond, on the other hand, is, having found the back of Skullwoods somewhere else, is now in the front of Skullwoods, or rather, the front. Did Goomba skip going all the way to Catfish? Looks like it.
Yes, he did skip going all the way to Catfish.
A choice that can be made. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it has a high downside because now he's really, really orphaned Catfish. Oh, he has no boots or gloves. He can't get there. I'm stupid. It's still really orphaned, but at least he didn't make a different choice. Whenever I see people over there, I just assume they're going to get a catfish, and I failed to remember that you actually need stuff, Blip. You actually need to find items in this game.
No. We won't just let you beat it with nothing. 3 hearts and
I mean, if
3 hearts and bombs.
If this was 0-0 fast cannon, we could just go do that. So we found our 2 swords. We're done. So one of our fetch quest items was turned in, which is to say the Skullwoods Big Key for an arrow. I'm sure Ray is happy he did a bomb jump for that.
Oh, check and dig spot.
Bomb back.
For a heart container. Not that big a deal.
I believe this is Aberrant. Right. So now Goomba is following in Ramond's footsteps here for a minute. Where's Ray off to?
Going back into CAC for Meyer. Ooh.
With cane, but no fire source. So
limited. Very limited.
We've got a small key and a big key. So I believe that means that we can do everything. We could do everything except for the left-hand side in this dungeon. You have to do the basement in the dark, which sucks, but.
Oh, Nori making a good point. That would be sneaky if fire source is inside Misery Mire. Close.
An ice source. Unfortunately, we can't ice the torches for blue lights or something.
You asked for a fire source, and it said no by giving us the exact opposite of that.
Goomba having an unfortunate time in the with the Skullwoods drop here. Missed the hook shot there. Red Meringue. Now with the complete collection of meringues.
No lemon meringue, though.
They missed a trick by not having a yellow boomerang. Like a reasonable color for a boomerang. They made it a blue.
The front of Eastern has been checked.
All 4 items.
Yeah.
And Ray showing off that you can hook across here to save yourself a walk. It's actually faster, I think, to... Oh, it may be faster to dash, but not to walk down the right-hand side before you fall in. Here's Goomba's single heart, and he's going to take a death warp, given the 1 heart situation. Ramond showing off that there's a setup for hitting the switch there with a tossed Savaria block in the minor basement. These rooms are probably the hardest set of dark rooms in the game. No light source at all. I'm pretty sure he hasn't set up Spooky. I don't know if you can even do Spooky in the dark. In Crosskeys. Goomba turning in his bottle for $20.
Big 20.
Ray through the right. It's Spooky in Crosskeys. Spooky in Crosskeys with no fire rod. And in the dark. Fully in the dark seems hard. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, it's okay. I forget what I was gonna say. I apologize. My head is not 100% here at the moment.
Ray getting to show off why you would really like to have some equipment to beat Vitreous, because kind of sucks. You would kind of like to have found the capacity fairy as well. But Master Sword's not too terrible. Goomba, having finished checking the Village Wet tests and Skull Woods, is now off to do a South Dark World sweep. Ray did this earlier. He'll find Eastern and yet another exit to Hero Castle along his way.
And Ramond finishing off Misery Mire, getting our first, second crystal actually of the match. First for him. Tower of Terra was the first for Goomba.
Yeah, Goomba making the choice to head to Ice Rod area, find Tower of Terra, which is why he's completed that. But 2 different dungeons completed in 50 minutes by the runners is good time for Crosskeys.
So to answer an earlier question in chat, Powder has now been checked. It gave us a map. And Mushroom had been checked. It's a shield, I believe?
I think so. It was something unexciting.
Yeah.
Alright. Ramond, on his 10th trip into Hyrule Castle, is willing to go to the basement. And we'll find, I believe, precisely nothing of interest. And Goomba, having found Eastern at the end of a long walk, is willing to go in. I don't know if Goomba is a Eastern Palace boycotter by by habit. Entirely off-topic question. Which of these sprites do you think is cuter?
I love Hollow Knight. I really do. So the Hornet sprite is I'm digging it.
Yeah, he's cute. I haven't actually seen the Hollow Knight randomizer yet. That's on my list of things to check out at some point. It feels like it would be hard. Like, Hollow Knight's already not like way harder than Estes. So
it's so fun. I do really enjoy that game a lot. Peter. Begging for death.
This is a long ass death warp. I feel like that might have been able to get set up slightly more efficiently, but what do I know?
I mean, to be like an appropriate guard, you'd think at some point they'd realize, oh, well, they're not trying to get away. We could just take them into custody. It's like, no. We just kill on sight.
This dungeon cell we have right here, maybe you could tuck them in there?
Yeah, no. No. That dungeon, that's not for you. You get death. A very slow, painful death. Oh, we just got a handy piece of information on the back end here that our fancy new updated tracker also includes a feature for flute, mushroom, and powder that they can actually show on our trackers if they have been turned in or activated. Look at that little check mark. Beautiful.
Wow. You get Trezco to come in and actually look at the thing he hasn't updated in 4 years, and he makes all kinds of improvements.
Yeah! Pretty. I like it.
Yeah. Like that guy knows how to code stuff. Goomba finding the wrong end of Spiral Cave.
Oh, I'm just short of enough rupees to summon Trez.
Ramond finds the big chest entrance to Turtle Rock, which is a nice one to find. On account of it's a one item cave, if nothing else, and also gets you access to these middle checks. Every respectable Crosskeys runner wants to avoid actually walking through Turtle Rock insofar as possible. Sometimes, of course, it's impossible, but today I think we found the front and the back, and I guess the top and the bottom and the middle. So we will not be doing any actual traversing of Turtle Rock today. Which means that our one key is probably sufficient.
That's true. That's true. It might very well get us covered for the whole thing.
Yeah. We'll see if Ramond is interested in defeating the Pokey for a spare key. And Goomba is also here doing the same thing.
Yes. Nope, no Pokey.
A key will turn up before you need to beat Trinex. You don't have to beat Trinex for a while, probably.
We do have an Agate Tower key, though.
We didn't want that.
That's interesting. It's an extra check, you know?
Yeah, it's like an extra kind of obnoxious check.
Oh, it really is, but it's an extra check.
Yeah.
I didn't say they have to like it.
Ray's setup for the Chain Chomp room went a little bit awry there because the Chain Chomp got in the way of his red meringue, but gets it done anyway. Ganon is at Stank.
Yes.
So we are definitely gonna have to find a glove. I think we have to definitely find a glove anyway. But oh, Goomba on the other hand shows off ether strats. Apparently, frozen Pokies kill die to one hit from hammers. The magic in this game has never made a whole lot of sense to me. And I respect all the runners that actually know how the medallions work. And Ray showing off the correct order for making these checks in. You make the long walk to the pod main entrance last, because it takes forever.
Yes.
And you do not want to have to walk back out of here. This entrance might be the worst one in the game to get to. It's certainly close. The back skull woods is probably the one that's competing with it.
Back of Skull Woods can, if routed conveniently, can include other checks along the way, but the pod entrance is just
always terrible.
Kiki's Funhouse.
Yeah, I guess in addition to taking forever to get there, it costs you $110. Like that. Couldn't you have at least made it express? Ray finds the. I feel bad calling him that without asking him, but whatever. Sahasrara at the pod main entrance, which hopefully we don't have to go back for to do green pendant turn-ins. And if we do, we're going to put it off as long as possible. It's going to take forever. But while we're there, we do pick up the Thieves' Town keys. And it's always nice to find that small key before you go into the back door of Thieves' Town, just because it's less weight on your mind. Same as the Fetch Quest big keys. Like, nice to have. Makes you feel better. In fact, we're off to go defeat Blind right now. Frankly, we're doing quite well for equipment. We've found all the dungeons. What do we need to beat the seat? We need a glove.
Yes.
We need some more crystal pendant information, definitely.
We need fire.
We need fire. And then we need at least Eastern Big Key and maybe Swamp Small Key. And then potentially Boots and Mirror for more entrances.
Yes.
And potentially, exactly Fire Rod for the Back of Skullwood's entrance and so on and so forth. Like, there's some horror show scenarios, but... And
also depending on how, if Turtle Rock is crystal, you just need it. Fire Rod.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways we can be required to have Fire Rod in particular, rather than just any source of fire.
Yes.
I guess we need either Bombos or Fire Rod for Ice Palace. Maybe. It'd be nice if they did a Dark World map check and we could learn some things.
I will have to leave you for one moment. I'll be back in just a minute, okay?
Alright, I'll talk to chat. Hey chat, how you doing? Both our runners are doing Thieves' Town. It takes a while. Especially with no boots. With no glove, Ramond is going to have to take the slightly inconvenient Bear Belts route through Thieves' Town basement. I do not remember where Kamal found the blue mail, so I can tell you if and when Goomba's actually pick that up. Left side GT, which Goomba has not yet done the Dark World Death Mountain checks, which is where both GT and Pod are, for the bow and assorted other exciting things. So that'll consume some minutes of his time, if and when he eventually makes his way up there with the Moon Pearl. Both runners got distracted on their first trip to Death Mountain by connectors. And whole arrows on blind, but more importantly, Hornet gets to be very excited about this crystal. I believe, and the old proxy of how many hearts the runners have agrees as well, that Ramond is slightly ahead on raw checks over Goomba due to some more fortuitous routing earlier in the scene. It's not... that doesn't necessarily mean that he's ahead, because Goomba could just not make whatever useless checks Ramond has made, because they haven't actually turned into very much stuff that's useful. Just some hearts. Who cares about hearts?
What'd I miss?
So, nothing.
Oh, okay.
He sounds crystal, and it took a while to beat it. And now Ray's going to do Terrapot with and beat Terrapara.
Okay.
And remain a crystal ahead of Goomba. 3 pod smalls, which where to next for our little anime girl? We unfortunately do not have a good way back up the mountain. No flute. The best connector is Super Bunny Cave at Sahasrara, maybe? Which I think is where Goomba's headed. Oh no, he left behind this Spot 5 entrance ages ago because of Super Bunny Cave. And so I'd like to go back and check that after. Ramond is streaming face cam, and that was definitely worthy of a face palm. So
yeah.
He also has an adorable minifig of Hornet in the background.
Yes, it is good. Seems to be a thing.
So I have played with keyboard and emulator before. It's not so. I mean, it's not so bad if you're used to it. And for me, the critical thing was setting the movement keys to be on my left hand, even though the emulator defaults to putting them on the arrow keys, just because I have so much muscle memory of left-handed movement on NES and Super NES games. I believe this is another connector that's going to make Ramond go, ugh.
Yep. Without that mirror, there's no point to go there.
Yep. Saves you worrying about the Titan Smiths a little bit. Their Titan Smiths are getting pretty close to dead, actually. Between we found the mire, we found that exit. We haven't come out to the Rock Main, and we haven't, of course, done the Smith Chain. But
Yes, I was about to say, what about our smiths? What
yeah,
if they're hiding something?
yes, I mean the Trident Smith will always be a 2-item fetch quest, but they start off the seed sort of with quite a lot of potential, and we've killed a lot of it.
Yep.
Ramond finally getting around to going to the castle. Okay. Sure. I guess he'd had better things to do. So we know Hera Basement. So Hera Basement remains inaccessible because we haven't yet found fire. Goomba taking a kind of obnoxious connector sequence to get back up to Death Mountain. If anybody really hates runners and wants to watch the most ridiculous connector sequence I've ever seen, watch the VOD of the match I calmed yesterday, which was Hitsuyan versus, I want to say, Dataput.
Yes, it was. And it was, what was it, 7 connector, long bunny walk.
Full on 7 connectors to get to the flippers, to get to the Moonbro. So if Sadom is your thing, you can go watch that. And then they showed off how good they are by beating the seed in 2 hours and 35 minutes anyway. So
wild.
Here's Goomba back to do doing Tile Room on his first trip, and Ramond, having ditched this on his first trip, is back. Now has a bunch of small keys, and so can do full left in addition to Tile Room. It looks like he's still not interested in Tile Room. The bow is in Pod, which is the next entrance that Goomba will get to.
Very nice boomerang strats here. Oh my goodness, it was Tile Room the whole time. Okay. I like how this is turned.
And that is why Crosskeys runners literally do Tile Room. So Goomba is presumably going to feel terrible because this has been been available since forever, right? He got that Canis Maria ages ago. I just never found GT, and so he presumably is like, damn it, my opponent's had that for like 45 minutes.
Little does he know, Ramond is going to kick himself real hard when he potentially realizes that he could have had that. How long ago was that? Probably half an hour ago?
At least half an hour.
Yeah.
Put the small key to swamp and the mirror.
Yep.
So he's already unhappy finding those things on left side GT. So we'll see if he makes it as far as Tile Room or gets distracted by mirror locations. Which is very easy to do from here. Goomba, not having found the red meringue, has to do blue meringue strats, which are admittedly harder.
Yes.
But faster if you do them right the first time. Oop! Oh, Ramond trying to set up deboost strats to get to Armos. I think having screwed that up, the fastest way there is to actually solve the puzzle, but he might not know how to do that because nobody does.
A little too far off. And you don't have a fire source to light your way either, so...
You actually just have to know how to do the maze without seeing it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's totally memorizable. Small key to swamp, mirror, bombos in Endo Room.
So, Ice Palace is now accessible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost on so Goomba is now loaded for ban, right? Mirror in addition to all the stuff that Ramond has found, he also has the gloves. So the speed was bottlenecking down reasonably hard, right? Which is why Goomba has actually made this play. Coming over here took him forever. Boop actually gets the humble sword boop, correct? But it is now wide open again. And our French runner has left behind the gloves.
Hopefully, he finds the second set sometime soon. That would be ideal.
And I don't remember where Goomba picked up Chain of Vernal, but with no bow in hand, Furnace Rats are your next best choice. And not only are they your next best choice, they're also really easy.
Yep.
Oh. So he has the mirror. Out of here. It always feels good the first time in a seed you get to do that. It's like pendants at Swamp and Pod and Crystal at Turtle Rock.
So that's our full crystal knowledge.
Goomba now has the bad news that the things he found the ability to solve are not necessarily required. And our Swamp's small just in time to decide if we really wanted to ever go to Swamp in the first place.
And I also just realized that I think I missed Ramond also had checked his map. He actually has full crystal knowledge as well.
Yes, and here is Elbow. Goomba mirrors out, which I think is actually just stone cold a mistake, but he almost certainly muscle memoried that. I'm pretty sure that it's faster to just go to the bow side from there.
A book. Very nice.
I hope you have a decent-sized screen today, Blib, because I'm having a little bit of hard time keeping my eye on Ramond.
Yeah, I have a pretty large screen now that I am home and not using my laptop in the hospital. This is a much bigger screen, so I can see Ramond's screen. All right, I'll keep a focus on him.
No, it's fine. I have it up on a 26-inch monitor too. I just was hoping that you didn't have like a 1-inch postage stamp of his gameplay. Alright, so Ray did make a second pod dip, cashed in all his keys for this and that, and found a book for his troubles.
Mm-hmm.
I am not completely convinced by Goomba's pod routing here. I guess the bow in the middle of a planned route screwed up his plans, and now he's routing on the fly, and it looks kind of silly. Because I think what he did was actually the most efficient thing to do if exactly that chest wasn't a bow. So, oops. And then he mirrored out just on sheer instinct, and then presumably got to feel bad for 10 seconds or whatever. With only 3 pod smalls, Goomba is not going to be able to get everything out here. And in fact is going to leave behind Helmosaur. Helmosaur King. So of all the connectors in the game that we have to traverse a bunch of times, the castle's not so bad, especially this way. Going to the right is actually kind of obnoxious, but the other transitions aren't so bad. But this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've heard that bit of of music. We now get the rest of these desert area checks. And he did manage to put off coming over here so far, so to check Agena as a mirror check is quite a luxury. Looks like he's going anti-clockwise, and we'll have checkerboard team last. And Goomba makes the choice to go back up to the top of the mountain, given that getting over here is a pain, and make the mirror check up there first. Pretty sure Ray didn't do this. We get a shop, which is not going to have very good service. Despite the fact that the old man save and quit spot is on the ledge here, neither runner until recently had a glove, and so we're unable to check the second entrance on the ledge. Goomba is checking bumper ledge as his first mirror check finds nothing. And chooses to hop down and do sort of main Dark World mirror checks rather than heading to Hera. I'm a little bit surprised, by the way, that neither runner did the bomb jump to find Laser Eyes entrance. And with better gear in hand, in particular a Swamp key, Ramond is heading into Pendant Swamp. I'm sure not his favorite choice that he could possibly make, but there's a bunch of items in here. It's not nearly as bad in Crosskeys, where you don't have to put up with the dam animation a bunch of times.
Yeah, sorry about that. Had to grab some more water real quick. I apologize.
Yeah.
But now we get to see some swamp, so that's exciting.
Goomba gets to do the even more exciting going through very scent cave the tedious way.
Ugh.
Hopefully we'll find something better. Hopefully it doesn't get locked out. Either this is something good, or he has the fast way back. Hey, it's Bonk Rocks. That unfortunately does lock him out. And get back into life world. Or double thing he wasn't looking for. On the other hand, he now has a glove and a hammer, and so can pokey his way all the way to the Dark World again. Stopping by the bat on the way.
Yes, get that check. Get yourself your map that you do not need. Where's my cat? Where's my couch?
Not a cat you visited in commentary.
Yeah. He just started scratching the couch and meowing at me, and I'm like, no. Not acceptable behavior.
Ramond making the uncontroversial choice to do left side swamp. I have seen some runners that are too cool for school skipping this, but I feel like in Crosskeys, especially with as much stuff out there as there is, this is a totally reasonable choice. Goomba has a glove, and so he has chosen to do ice instead of swamp.
I don't blame him. I do not blame him one bit.
Yeah. I mean, both of them turn out to be quite long, fairly item-dense pendant dungeons at this point. Or both runners would rather be doing something something better. Something with a crystal at the end of it. Both runners do have access to Mothula, but they don't have any fire.
No. Unfortunately, Bombos does not work.
Nope.
For
lighting torches. Can't
lighting torches, no.
Blow up the world and call it good. We also need fire to get to Landmo. And we also need specifically a fire rod to get to trains. Burning things is apparently our big choke point at the moment.
Yes. And you know, seeing as how abundant these dungeons have turned out to be so far, who knows? It might just get to the point where they start having to kill these pendant dungeons and check out our friend the pedestal.
So, in principle, the fire rod could be on Ped, I think. If the lamp is somewhere terrible.
Ooh, we got red mail in Ice Palace.
Ooh, I'm sure Goomba's really excited about red mail.
Yeah! That's what we needed. That's like fire, color fire.
Also, whoever programmed Goomba's sprite decided that red mail should be a blue ribbon in the hair, so...
Yep.
Nice ice rod, phase 2 armies. 3 fire rod shots to the other master sword. That was... Oh. There's the fire rod we were all looking for. Goomba's like, right, I can go do things that I'm actually interested in. Get me out of here. First stop, Misery Mire. We have found all the dungeons, and so as far as beaten, searching for entrances, we only have to do that if we're looking for more items. And beatable crystal dungeons are always a better choice than random entrances for that sort of thing. So now that Goomba has a fire rod, he's going to hope that the ice rod turns up. I don't know where that is. And
I forget where the ice rod was.
And otherwise only needs an Eastern Big
Mire, key. Okay. It is in Mire.
He needs it's I think it's actually like...
Next check, I think.
Eastern Big Key. And in fact, that puts Goomba close enough to go mode that he's ditching the cutscene chest. I believe Goomba needs a pod key. There's the ice rod.
And now, Ramond found another pod key. I don't remember where he found his 4th pod key, but that might be the answer as he's going through, as Goomba is going through some of these things that Ramond has done previously.
Oh, Pat is a pendant. Never mind. Ignore me. I was trying to find ways that Goomba wasn't just in go mode, and I failed. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes. No. Goomba's got all the stuff. Go do the things.
Oh, he's skipping chests now. He's just running.
Go mode.
He knows. He knows. We don't. Don't worry.
He used his last
runners know better than I.
And I was like, oh no, he's going to need another one. And then, of course, he doesn't. We were talking about, while we were upgrading the tracker, adding a go mode button, but they couldn't find a way to fit it in. The runners couldn't be stupid. And so they were still looking for stuff. Now he gets to go mode a bunch of dungeons. This is going to be a good time for Goomba. Alright, so Now that we know that Goomba's in Go mode, I need you, Blibberl, to set the over/under line on total checks made in the seed by the winner, out of 216, according to the credits.
Oh my goodness. I'd say over under 180. Actually, this seems like a light seed, maybe 170. With all of these dungeons being go moded.
So that was 170, final answer?
Yes.
Alright. Norinato?
160. Oh, 160, there we go, 160. You know what? I'm gonna vote 160.
I mean, you have to pick. You have to set the line. You're the book here. You are
okay.
the book.
Oh, I'm not the book. I'm not the book.
I've been doing this to my co-commentators because I'm cruel. I'm sorry, liberal, but.
Okay, well, you know what? I vote 160. 160 be the over/under.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see if Nori was still typing when you changed your mind.
Thank you.
$160 is, by the way, a super low number for Crosskeys. But Goomba is going to get to go mode a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's go moding a number of dungeons. So, I mean, Turtle Rock, everything's already been checked, basically. Skull Woods, everything's already been checked, basically. Actually, yeah, but... Ooh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think... actually, okay, well, the votes are coming in pretty well even, so that's nice.
I mean, some of that is people value betting, as is often the case.
Oh yes, well I appreciate that.
And it does mean we're going to see some Master Sword Silverless Ganon though. That'll be an actual difficult way to end the seed. So often in Crosskeys, you checked basically the whole race, and yeah, it was super easy. Oh, Ramond is doing an Ice Palace tip with no glove. Oh. I think he's gonna find the thing. If I remember where it is. But, oof. And do we actually require a glove? We do, because we have to beat Ganon. We need a glove to beat Ganon. He's under a rock. So.
Yep, and we haven't found a second glove yet. Going through all of this so far. Now, who knows? Maybe beating one of the dungeons might get us a boss item of second glove, or just hidden in one of the checks that Goomba is going to be skipping.
Alright, let's see a nice clean Argus fight. Oop. Goomba actually screwed up Argus, which I wonder how many times he's killed this boss and how many times he's actually made a mistake in the last couple of years. It doesn't, of course, Argus is such a trivial boss, it doesn't cost hardly any time at all, but he's still going to be grouchy about that.
Yes. Yeah, that choice on both visits to skip totally doable tile roam is going to cause some frustrations.
Both totally doable and totally in logic too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Ramond got the fire rod at some point.
Oh yes. In Ice Palace. Yes. I didn't even realize it wasn't marked on the tracker. That's okay.
No, your job. I was just confused. Like I looked back over at him. I've been busy watching Goomba do Go mode stuff, and Ramal was at Mako, and I was like, he can't be there. He doesn't have a fire rod. But that does not solve Ramal's problems. Of course, the thing that does solve his problems mostly is going back to Mire and checking the fire side, because he aggressively did Mire ages ago with no fire source. The fact that the Eastern Palace Big Key is on the left side of Mire, I think makes him even more dead than he already was.
Oh, right.
Like, he has left behind two different things that are entirely mission critical. But he's, going to go complete Crystal Dungeons. He can do that now because he has a fire rod.
Yep.
And in his mind, he's presumably like, I don't know where the gloves are, but that Ice Palace tip was a really smart idea. Let's feel really good about that.
Yep.
Until his opponent's going to type .done shortly. And in fact, even if he hadn't left those gloves behind, I think he would still be mostly dead, because he's going to leave left side Mire for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, in his mind, it's, I have dungeons I can complete. I'm going to complete my dungeons, which makes sense. But then when it comes to after those dungeons are done, where is he going to go? Is he going to go hunting locations? Is he going to go to pendant dungeons? Or is he going to go revisit crystals that he's already completed?
Oh, and unfortunately, I think I would be surprised if he does any of those things, because I think he's going to do his type .forfeit in racetime.gg.
Yeah. Yeah, bootsless, fluteless. Very fun seed.
No boots, no flute, no lamp, no silvers. No. Admittedly, those last things, that's important. And the only reason we needed a glove, literally the only reason we needed the glove, was to get to Ganon.
Yep. That's the only access for this seed that was limited by a glove.
Yeah. Then we're doing Hammer Trinix, which due to Master Sword kind of sucker. I'm a little bit surprised Goomba didn't pick up a couple of chests on the way, looking for a Tempered Sword. The ones that were like super duper in his route. But I can respect the choice not to.
Well, he knows that there's only one left kicking around, because there's one on the library that he needs boots for, and he's not going to go hunting for boots.
Yeah, those boots you mentioned that would give you a sword an hour ago. You're right. On the other hand, there are silvers right there. Both silvers and sword are. I guess they're like 1% per chest or something, or a couple of percent per chest. Probably actually not worth it, but I think you'd see a lot of runners in Goomba's situation opening up chests that are basically like throwing themselves in your face.
Yeah, but the way that the seed kind of mapped out where there was so much access early on, and both of our runners had those moments of
So I had never seen the flute on pet message before. That's cute. And we're not getting that. We have a connection to Meyer. We don't need that thing.
Nope.
If this game had been laid out very slightly differently, without the one connector to the Meyer area, we might have been in for a Fed seed. Or not. Actually, there's nothing actually useful in the Meyer area, so...
Yeah, I understand Goomba's choice here for not checking extra chests or those silvers or another sword, because both of our runners have had points in this seed where they have held off on doing checks that were very early access and had significant progression in them. So it's one of those things that has both of our runners feeling, my opponent must be done. My opponent must be almost done.
Goomba left behind Ganon's tower and pod for like an hour after he could have checked them.
Yep.
And in particular, the gloves were accessible. They had this Canis Maria basically immediately.
Yep.
And he just never took the portal on the top of Death Mountain, which, West Death Mountain often, or Dark West Death Mountain, often kind of relevant. Today it had both Ganon's Tower and Pod. And while neither one of those dungeons was required to be completed, they contained a whole bunch of useful stuff. So.
And as both of our runners finish off a crystal, we have Goomba has achieved all 7 crystals, and all he needs to do now is head over to Sanctuary, use that glove, and get himself to Ganon.
Yeah, so assuming that the world doesn't end, Goomba is going to win this seed in a moment. And at 6-0 clinches at least the play-in race for brackets. There's a top 16 bracket. Everybody at X and O or and X and 1 is going to make the bracket seeded. There's a tiebreaker system that is too complicated to explain. And then all of the X and 2 runners will be put into a single... Oh, Goomba feels like he has time to stop in and get a blue potion, which is reasonable, I guess. It's right here. And so there'll be a roughly 16-person race for roughly 8 spots to clinch to get into the lower half of the bracket. And we'll bring that race to you in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if we're going to try to do 4-up Crosskeys streaming. That sounds hard. So we'll show you a limited selection of that race.
Oh, that would be wild. 4 trackers on a stream. That would be fun.
I haven't heard enough time looking at 2 streams. We need at least 3 commentators.
It would be fun, though. I have to say, it would be fun. It'd be a mess. It would be so much fun.
And Goomba doing Samaria block strats, which might have been part of the reason that he stopped in at the potion shop to get a blue potion. He's going to use a little bit of magic here, setting up, making his first couple of phases go faster. And then, of course, Master Sword Silverless Ganon is going to take a while. And with no lamp, even with half magic, wanted to make sure that he didn't run out.
Now, I'm trying to think with, as an alternative to the, to a Forerunners seed, but now it's supposed to be taking place on a Saturday, I think? It's a weekend, I believe. That the massive match will be taking place. So that's generally kind of a busy day for ZSR, so I'm not sure we'd even be able to manage two two-player restreams.
Well, we'll see what we can do. I mean, certainly we're going to bring you something. Yeah. We'll see what we can do. Ganon information there was that the second bow, the silvers, were on Sahasrahla. And given that, one, the green pendant was pod, and we certainly can't beat that, or certainly can't be bothered beating that, and two, that Sahasrahla himself is at pod main entrance, there is no way the runners were ever going to get that in this seed.
No.
Ramond, unfortunately, I think has ditched Tile Room again. Who writes GT? It's a sword.
You got a sword? Okay.
Nope. He's cool. Dude does not like Tile.
No.
I mean, and I think that at some point it's correct to just keep skipping it, right? Like, if the thing is there, you're dead. So you might as well keep skipping it. On the other hand, he's dead, as he's going to find out literally right now. GG's to Goomba.
GG's in chat, folks. GG's. That was fun. That was a fun match.
And this is why Crosskeys runners do. Yeah, apparently my subreddit is ESR, so I can't use the GT.
And
right.
your guess was correct. We do have a forfeit on Ramon's side.
And a thoughtful look. So 142 and change is an excellent time for Crosskeys.
Yes.
Not to pass this, Megawatt managed to 123 in week 1, which is a ridiculous time. But 142 is still both requires excellent running and required him to get lucky in a couple of spots. And hilariously, the fact that it wasn't the gloves, right? The gloves feel super important because they're the gloves, and you always need gloves.
Yes.
But the only thing Goomba actually used the gloves for, I think he went into the Dark World with them once, maybe, if that. But it got him to Gen. But until then, it didn't actually generate any items. Even the Ice Palace dip, which he chose to do because he had the glove, and the Ice Palace dip is much more palatable with the gloves, didn't actually require them. GG's Goomba, that was an excellent time.
GG's.
Did you feel terrible about the gloves?
Hmm?
Did you feel terrible about the gloves location / Ganon's Tower location?
Yes, absolutely.
I
figured I was probably miles behind, because I basically lost location GT.
Yeah. So if it makes you feel better, Ramond did find GT well before you did, but he has continued to boycott Tile Room for reasons that aren't clear to us until now. So he still does not have those gloves.
I mean, the gloves didn't actually... The only thing you needed them for was the Ganon fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's you still feel like you've left them behind for a long time. Like, oh no, there's something in a glove location somewhere. No, there's Ganon in the glove location somewhere. Otherwise, the end of that seed worked out quite well for you. The moment you got the left side GT stuff, which, by the way, you and Ramond got nearly simultaneously. He'd found it much earlier, but hadn't gone back due to... In fact, it was hard to get to, and didn't have the keys on his first trip.
Right. That makes sense.
You guys both got that stuff, whatever it was, the mirror and...
Mirror, Swamp Smolky, Bombo's Medallion.
Yep.
All of the things you needed at roughly the same time. And you made the right choice. You went to Ice Palace, and the last piece was there.
Yeah, I figured, like, Ice Palace is with a Icebreaker, it's a very quick chunk of 8 items. It's right next to Misery Mire, which I have to beat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling great though, so I told myself that if I found any of the required items in Ice Palace, I wasn't killing Colts there.
Right.
So I got the Fire Rod, and I was just like, nope.
Yeah, and it turns out that the thing that really killed Ramond, besides boycotting Cloud for no apparent reason, is that he did mire ages ago with no fire source, and so left behind.
Yeah, I did think about that possibility when I saw the Eastern Big Key. That he might have gone in there without a fire source and ended up isolating that. Yeah. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because then I got the ice rod like 20 seconds later, and my brain just kind of melted.
You were like, "Aha, we're good to go."
Yep.
If it makes you feel better, our brains also melted, and I was busy trying to figure out if you needed to find a pod key, forgetting that it was a green pension. So we're all very smart today. We're just waiting on your final collection number, because I run over unders on my when I do comms. Do you have a guess on your collection rate?
I would estimate like mid 150s, probably, maybe like 160ish. I don't know.
Well, we set the line at 160, so we'll see in a moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, because all of the dungeons that you had left to complete, you had already gone into and basically cleared out. So even though you had a lot of dungeons to go mode, most of the checks in them were already done.
Yeah, it was weird hitting go mode with 2 crystals. I felt pretty good about the go mode route I cobbled together though.
No,
I feel like I managed to sequence the crystal dungeons in a pretty good order to like minimize travel time.
Yeah, there was, especially given the lack of flutes and boots. Just in general, I want to say I was impressed with your whirlpool usage in this low mobility item seed. I'm
telling you, the whirlpools are like the most OP thing in Crosskeys. They're so powerful.
They're like permanent connectors, so you have to remember every time you start a new seed.
Basically.
Yeah, you guys had, I mean, you didn't get conventional Dark World access until basically go mode. And your Dark World connectors were not super in this seed. We saw a lot of the inside of the castle and a few trips through desert. Are you happy overall with your routing choices, other than leaving GT behind?
I think so. I feel like maybe when I found the Desert Palace connector to Bumper Lids the first time, I should have just dropped down and started doing Dark World things instead of checking Hookshot Cave. But I don't know, Hookshot Cave is 4 items right there, plus another connector that could just as easily have taken me somewhere else in the Dark World, so hindsight and whatnot.
The first time you found Hookshot, did you not realize you didn't have enough bombs to get through it?
No, I just wanted the heart so I wouldn't die to a cabin.
That's also an entirely reasonable answer. And I guess the other thing you could have possibly regretted in this seed was leaving behind Back of Escape. I think you just had unfortunate bomb situation.
Yeah, I did it like on my first saving quit when I actually had a bomb.
Yeah, after you used 8 bombs or something to clear the front of Escape, you go and find a sword and a moon pearl. Like, oh jeez.
Yeah. Okay, I lied about the collection rate.
It hasn't quite scrolled on our screen yet.
Almost. Almost. What did we get? What did we get? What did we get?
Total lag time, 12 minutes. Jeez. Whenever that number scrolls on the screen, I can never believe.
Oh my goodness! Is that an all-time low?
I don't think so. I've probably had lower in Crosskeys before, but it's
138.
Really low.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you god-routed this seed?
No.
Yeah, I agree. Nevertheless, you still managed to mostly, like a demigod.
I mean, the thing is, like, I hard last location GT basically, but it was a pretty hard bottleneck, and pretty much the only thing you had to do afterwards was Ice Palace and Mire, and that was the first thing I did, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I mean, Fire Rod Go mode does not happen very often in Crosskeys, and that wasn't literally true here, but it was pretty close to literally true, right?
Yep.
You started doing crystal dungeons in the the rest sort of fell into place.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't believe that Ramond is going to join us. I don't know if he does interviews. So, congratulations, Goomba. You have now officially qualified for something, and with only one more win, definitely into the bracket. But you, at the very least, get to join the Grand Melee for the bottom half of the bracket. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident I'll get into bracket at this point. Like, even if I lose my next 2 races, I'm confident I can place well enough in the big old free-for-all to get into brackets anyway, so...
Yeah, you feel like whatever it is, top half of a 16-person race is within your capabilities. Well, we look forward to seeing you. We may or may not feature you on Restream as the tension is a little bit lower, but look forward to seeing you in the bracket stages. And congratulations.
Yeah, well, let's not count our eggs before they hatch, but...
I'll count your eggs for you, and then if you drop them, I'll be sad, alright?
GG's. GG's.
Yeah, GG's Goomba. Also GG's to Ramond, who declined an interview, which I completely understand. So, I'm not sure if we're having any other matches restreamed today. I know I'm not actually going to be going to a concert tonight, so I'm not available tonight. But thank you very much, Excalibur and Blue for doing commentary, and also thank you very much, Robs and Lady Laura Linda, for doing tracking today. Always appreciate it. We do have another restream on ZSR2 that should hopefully be starting shortly, which is maybe why I'm letting this linger a little bit. It's Ocarina Time Randomizer DDR tournament. I believe it's Winners Bracket Round 2. I don't know if ZSR2 is live yet. I guess but I guess thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. So have a good day, morning, or evening. Take care. Bye.
Bye.